As Marcus Garvey put it, a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin and culture is like a tree without its roots. He further stated that intelligence rules the world, while ignorance carries the burden. If I may ask Africans today, is ignorance of our past not the reason why we suffer? The lack of the knowledge of our past has caused us to carry a burden we shouldn't be carrying. Sadly, we know very little of our own history. We are so ignorant of our past. How then can we know where we are going when we do not know where we came from? The American singer and songwriter CeeLo Green said in his 1997 song titled G.O.D., an acronym which stood for Gaining One's Definition, he said, and I quote, "It's hard to correct yourself when you don't know who you are in the first place." He also pointed out a sobering fact that white folks know more black history than we do. The above quotations hold profound truths. African history is so beautiful. Our culture is so rich. It is imperative that we study and acquaint ourselves with our history to help us thrive in the midst of adversity. It is high time we begin to open our history books so that we can understand how we got to where we are today. Let's analyze our past and see where we flawed. Let's try to correct the mistakes of our ancestors. Let's dig into the spirit of the past centuries, unearth the needful, and resurrect their genius. We have complained for a long time. We have carried with us the anger born from the horrors of the slave trade and colonial era. We are currently victims of subtle neo-colonial exploitation. What we need now is solutions and not complaints. Solutions that can be achieved collectively through prompt action. Remember, no civilization in history has ever flourished by dwelling in complaints and blame games. In a time where we are more alienated from our cultural and indigenous ways and drawn into powerful networks of formal and informal miseducation, there is an urgent work to be done. An urgent work to reconnect to our cultural roots, to combat miseducation, and act collectively. Lastly, let's no longer view our history through sorrowful lens, nor let the horrors of the past turn us into objects of sympathy. Instead, let us stand up and act, not as victims anymore, but as victors even before the battle is won. Let our rich history and culture serve as the source of strength and inspiration that we need to forge a brighter future. It's time to work, Africans, and that time is now.